Alright, so here we are back again with Casual Chuck. You know, as soon as he has an SB19 video, I have to check it out. This one here is called SB19, the ultimate sound break, with over 45,000 views one day ago, 5.9 thousand likes. Oh man, I wish I would have hit that 6,000 on that one. But with all of that said though, I would like you guys, if you are into SB19 and you haven't heard of Casual Chuck, which is very surprising to me, definitely go and check out his channel. He is an amazing creator and he really does a lot of work and in-depth coverage on the boys of SB19. So without further ado, let's see what he's got for us on this one. Let's do it.
When you hear the words pop music and the best boy band, who comes to mind?
Oh, too many to
What
know.
if I told you that the most overlooked boy group in our generation might be these guys?
Overlooked to the extreme.
In the last 6 years, these guys turned a small Korean entertainment company into a company that produced the greatest P-pop group ever.
Are you proud of SB19?
Hell yeah.
And you don't accomplish that without making a few enemies.
K-pop.
Oh yeah.
Ano pala sila?
K-pop pangit.
Some of them coming from unexpected places.
Pinoy ba daw?
Parang may ginaya rin eh.
But behind the group are 5 driven men who were about to transform what was once a laughingstock genre in music into...
You know, I have to say, like, I wasn't around, right, like, this is actually, you know, thinking about it here, I'm on, like, 1 year now. It was New Year's of last year. I'm almost there. Oh my god. Okay, we're gonna have to do something special for that one. Okay, so 1 year of reacting to SB19 and discovering Filipino pop music, and I have been put into a world that is just so incredible, has so much to offer, and like the skill and the talent is awesome. And it's like almost like I'm on the ground floor. And I've said this before while reacting to SB19, is that it's like I'm watching the complete evolution of the Filipino pop music scene unfold before my very own eyes. And that I absolutely love. It's so cool to see Filipino pop music and just Filipino music in general being pushed into the forefront of music. And the boys are groundbreaking for that. They really paved the way, and they're going to be known as legends within that genre and within their own country. It's beautiful, and I love to see it.
the fastest growing genre of the world.
Ever since we had this goal, and not just for us, but for the entire industry.
Feeling ko hindi pa natin nakukuha yung recognition na dapat para sa atin.
Between disbanding before they even debuted,
all hope is lost parang nung time na yun.
Becoming industry outcasts and getting bashed by their own countrymen.
And you know, it's so funny too, because like every time I see these, when it came to BTS, when it comes to SB19, seeing these like ignorant comments from like these reporters and stuff, it's like, where have they gone? They haven't done nothing. And it's so funny seeing it, because it's just like, to me at this point right now, while I watch this, and I've seen many of these videos talking about it, especially from Chuck here, is that, you know, they really don't hold any merit to the amount of work and dedication that these boys hold. It's like, what do we always talk about now within their music? But it's their music, it's their evolution, it's their personalities. We don't think about these news reporters or these people that come out with just these ignorant comments. None of that is irrelevant, or all of that is irrelevant at this point. None of it is relevant, and they're all forgotten about. Nobody cares about them.
Para magkaroon tayo ng grupo na hindi naman mga kataasan ng tangos ng ilong. Para talagang original.
Oo.
The rise of SB19 may not be the greatest Filipino success story
Jollibee.
ever.
Oh, hold on. You know over here, never had Jollibee once, but we always got to pay homage to Jollibee. Sorry, I'm pulling it back. I have to. There's just no getting around it.
The rise of SB19 may not be the greatest.
There it is right there. I love this scene. I love because it's always the Jollibee here.
Filipino success story ever.
Maganda
One
kasi
day,
yung
guys,
revenge
one
kasi
day.
talaga yung success na ipapakita mo sa mga tao na hindi naniniwala.
Maybe that's what I gotta do before New Year's is just get like a Canadian Jollibee mukbang for you guys or whatever. We'll see.
Tama yan.
But it certainly is the most inspiring one.
Hell yeah. Very nice. Oh my god, his editing is just this man takes work. Oh. How can you not get down to this? The origins.
This is called Triple, a group of talented performers and comedians from Korea you've probably never heard of. They were formed back in 1994 when the word K-pop hasn't even been invented. In 2002, one of the members made the biggest mistake of his life, which will change the entire course of P-pop history.
You know, it's funny. Here's another person that's just like holds like he has the history, but it holds no merit. And honestly, just kind of like the boys just went on. They did their thing. It's like, oh man, these guys. It's just like it's so funny the story because like when I know the story, like I've gone through this and I've seen these kind of things. Is that it's just like, yeah, these were the starts, but what the boys do now for themselves means so much more.
That member was Jong Song Han. It all started when he left the trio in 2002 to become an entrepreneur. Cult Triple became Cult 2. Most of their fans thought that Songhan's decision was a huge mistake because the remaining members started racking up different awards in the entertainment industry.
And I said it before too in this, is that it's like, it kind of worked on both of their behalfs. You know, like the original group did better without him, and then he ended up creating the greatest P-pop group ever.
If he only stuck around, he would have gotten those awards too. But this man's decision was final. He used all of his savings to build an event organizing company called ShowBT Entertainment. Today we know him as Tatang Robin. Fast forward to 2015. The fight of the century just happened. One Direction's Drag Me Down was all over the radio, and Big Bang was the biggest K-pop boy group, while P-pop has top one project. Chances are, you have never heard of them. But somewhere in Makati, Philippines, an audition was held. Tatang Robin was looking for young talents who would be part of the package of their service as an event organizers. Talents who can perform on their own but can also serve as backup dancers and singers to their main performers.
Isn't it crazy that like the boys are essentially doing this now too on their own? It's like they're finding talent and creating that aspect too. It's like, it's so cool because they're utilizing all the stuff that was kind of like janky to begin with and now like evolving onto it. It's awesome.
One of the main attractions of the SATA audition was if you're good enough, you might just debut as a member of ShowBT's first ever P-pop group to undergo a Korean-style training. Filipinos don't get opportunities like that so often, so hundreds of talents applied, but only 30 made it as trainees.
Wow.
They were initially called the ShowBT Musical Gala Team, but then later dubbed as Nara, which in Korean means country, and also happens to be the national tree of the Philippines. If you're a fan who is deep into the P-pop scene, you would recognize some of the future P-pop stars, but one of the most notable ones is this guy. On the first day of
Hold on, is that Pablo?
training, one guy stood out because he was just alone standing awkwardly in the corner.
Nung una, ang weird niya kung nagsasalita mag-isa.
He was facing the wall and making hand gestures as if he was rapping in front of
Yeah,
him.
because that's Pablo, right? He's in his own mind. He's seeing the future. He's like creating it. He's building onto it. Just like Eminem here, man. Like Eminem and Pablo actually very well shown here, actually showing Eminem here, because that's just like Eminem too. Eminem's always been the one to just like sit there and like create like lists upon lists upon lists of all of his rhymes and his talking points, what he wants to talk about in his songs and stuff. And then Pablo, it's just like he's like creating it out in his mind, and he's seeing it in like from his own perspective outward, and then creating it like that. It's very well like side by side on that.
Nakatayo siya sa gilid. Biglang gaganon. Sabi ko, anong ginagawa na? Nagre-ritual ba ta sa gilid?
That guy was John Paulo Nasa. He always wanted to be a performer. As a young dreamer, he joined several competitions as a soloist and also as a member of the K-pop dance cover group called PHP. In training, he was...
See, this is what I love about these types of videos is like, again, I bring it up. We've learned about these kind of things, but always revisiting it is always good. I did this with BTS as well. Always doing this revisiting, and I'm going to continue doing it with BTS, with Stray Kids, with SB19. These are the groups that I care about, and I want to be able to like continuously remember and to always be reminded of all of those upbringings and all of those times coming up, because it's so important, you know, like it's all part of the story, and you need to learn about the artist to understand the music to a higher level. And this is what we love to do around here. So definitely stay tuned for more of these types of videos, because I'm all over it. And if you are new here, please be sure to hit that subscribe button. All right, let's do it.
The guy who shows up early and leaves late despite juggling a full-time job as a data analyst to help provide for his family. He was selected due to his undeniable diligence and leadership qualities. He is known to have critically acclaimed songwriting ability. Some of my sources even said that he had already written dozens of songs at this time. He's also a badass rapper and was off.
Shit, Chuck's got sources out here? Chuck's got sources? Of course he does. You kidding me? This guy lives and breathes SB19. Come on now.
Often called a genius, but consistently denied it because he claimed to be just a hard worker.
You know what I want to see? I want to see full-ended interview, conversation with Chuck and SB19. Like, I want to see it. Let's will it into existence in 2025 here.
This made him the destined leader of the group. He was known as Sejin at the time, but later would be known as Pablo.
I like Pablo better.
30 trainees are a lot of trainees. It would take a very observant person with an eye for talent to notice Pablo in that corner. So who was that observant person with an eye for talent? Well, he was also a trainee. Stell a hero.
Stell? Wait, Stell? Really?
He was only a kid when he started competing as a performer. As a dancer, he racked up win after win on a national level with his school crew and became their official choreographer, teaching crew.
I always love this picture because it looks like he's giving the middle finger to everybody. It's my favorite picture of Stell.
Crewmates 2 to 3 years older than him. He later joined a dance crew called Seon and went on to win international titles. Stell obviously worked so hard. Amidst his studies and competitions, he also worked part-time as a McDonald's service crew and teaching dance to kids with...
What was it? McDo? It's McDo, right?
Special needs. There was a point that he worked too hard that he wound up in the hospital. His poor health caused him to lose his earnings and nearly his life. Fortunately, he was able to recover. This made him the obvious choice to become the choreographer of the group.
Damn, you know what I'm missing right now? I need some more music from the boys. Seriously, we need to get into this next era and we need to celebrate because we've got to get into some new SB19, all right? Like, let's just get it going, all right? The fans are hungry.
But little did they know that dancing wasn't his only talent. As a kid, he joined the school choir to become the only male soprano and only improved as he gotten older. He easily became the main heavenly voice of the group because his vocals were...
I did actually see that the boys have actually got a couple of songs. I think Pablo actually has a few out for the bus. So we gotta get into some more of these types of videos, you know, outside, because the boys are doing stuff. It's just we gotta get more into these kind of things. I'm okay with that, you know.
Just
Keeps us tided, you know, tided over.
out of this world. Unlike Pablo, Stell was very friendly to everyone. In fact, one of his closest friends also auditioned and made it as a trainee. This friend is nothing to be trifled with because having the worst upbringing among the others made him the strongest when it comes down to pure guts and determination.
Fuck yeah.
Josh Cullen Santos.
There he is. Absolutely.
He left home at the age of 16 and
Man, it's so crazy. Josh's story. We just went through it with 1999, the music video. Really crazy story. I actually ended up talking to the director and the cinematographer for that music video on Instagram, and I'm telling you, like, it's so crazy learning about the whole story and like his upbringing and who he is today. So many people would have faltered and would have broken down and lived a life of just trash. But Josh, this is the strength of Josh, is the power and the ability to break past all of these traumas and become something so much bigger. It's honestly, give him the flowers, man. Give him his flowers.
was his decision. From growing up in a toxic environment to being physically abused as a kid by their nanny. I'm talking about getting poured candle wax all over their body. At an early age, he experienced what it felt like to be a member of a middle-class family that went rock bottom in just a matter of months. They got evicted from medium-sized apartments to increasingly smaller rooms. It came to a point when his family had nothing to eat with rice but ketchup and salt. They had no permanent address. Because of that, Josh and his sister dropped out of school multiple times, so they got bullied at school for being repeaters. Sometimes he would even get into fistfights for defending her. Josh had enough of this, so he decided to leave to become independent and started working as an internet cafe attendant.
Like right there, that instantaneous, like, I need to change this because this is ridiculous, it's not working. And then he makes it work. Man, if you ever get a chance, check out my video where I do the reaction to Josh and his mom cooking. That was like, oh my God. I can feel the tremors in my heart right now as I talk about it. It's just like, it's such an incredible story. Josh is my bias. I love the guy. He's so cool. And he's like one of those kind of guys that I could definitely see myself hanging out with and talking about things forever, because it's just like, yeah, it's crazy, man. It's crazy lifestyle. Crazy things that we go through in life, isn't it?
Using his own income, he took the alternative learning system to attain his high school degree. He initially had no background in performing. Not until he found Stell performing with his dance group called Say On. Josh became an instant fan, and when they connected, Stell became his mentor, which led to them becoming co-members, and they went on to win numerous K-pop dance cover competitions all over Asia. They even met BTS during one of their winning runs in Korea. So from champions...
I still love, like, when we bring that up, it's so cool. It's like two unstoppable forces meeting, and I'm telling you, man, that day when BTS comes back, I need to see an SB19 BTS collaboration. Like, that would just, you know, BTS coming back and joining is going to be a like an effect on the world. Like, literally everybody is going to be flocking to South Korea. The world will tilt. But then you see SB19 and BTS join forces. Oh, I don't even want to know what could happen there. It's scary. It's scary to think.
The trainees. What else is in store for them?
resist you.
From then on, their lives became all about performing in small events and training.
We had one mentor when we were training. Tapos, more on personality development siya. Tapos, presenting ourselves on stage.
We had no idea that the Korean-style training they went through
It's far, far from what they've been doing sa Korea.
was nothing but a mere marketing strategy.
But yung skill-wise, parang ganun. We were left on our own.
Moonlight.
They were left alone to fend for themselves, sharing knowledge to improve each other with the hope of making the cut. Some sources told me that Pablo had to record some of their vocal sessions to effectively coach his co-trainees. All of that without salary. This went on for roughly a couple of years, and I don't know about
Man, you know, it's Rome is definitely like that term, that saying, Rome is not built in a day. That's exactly true.
you guys, but this for me sounded kind of brutal.
It is. And that's the thing is like, anytime you're a starter at anything, like literally anything that I can ever think of, even in my own life, going up and through the trades, it's like you cannot go through things without having to start at the very bottom, the rock bottom. And that means people taking advantage of you, people stealing from you, people just like taking advantage of your skills. And then you break past that point. You always get a point where you break past it. And then as long as you're not that person in the end doing that same thing to other people, because you get like a jaded look on life or something, as long as you don't get that, then you're good. But I'm telling you, it sucks, man. It really does.
It's not easy to keep doing the same thing over and over and over again without any form of guidance. They were also kept in the dark about their debut date. So frustration started brewing until it reached the point when it only took one trigger to call it quits. On one seemingly normal training day, all trainees were already in the studio, except for Josh. On the same morning, the train broke down.
Nasira MRT during that time. Nasira yung MRT.
Sinuspindi ang operasyon ng MRT dahil sa power outage.
It wasn't really an accident, but this would still worry anyone, especially the trainees, because it's highly unusual for Josh to miss training. Later that morning, Josh arrived. His co-trainees felt relieved because Josh turned out to be safe. You would think that their company would react the same way, right? Wrong. They decided to terminate his training.
Nalate ako.
That's insane, man.
Tapos tinanggal ako.
That was the trigger.
Nung tinanggal po ako, nag-quit din yung mga grupo ko. Nag-quit din sila kasi parang naging trigger na point na kung tatanggalin mo si Josh.
Umalis kami sa grupo.
Ganun mo lang kadali itapon yung lahat ng efforts and passion tsaka dreams namin.
One of these things I really wish. Did I?
Na point na kung tatanggal ako, tas tinanggal ako.
That was the
I was gonna be like, wait, why doesn't he have subtitles? He does. He has subtitles this whole time. Damn it. Okay, well that's okay because I pretty much understood the gist of the whole thing is that he missed training. They got rid of him. And then he was
Josh
just like
to miss training. Later that morning, Josh arrived. His co-trainees felt relieved because Josh turned out to be safe. You would think that their company would react the same way, right? Wrong. They decided to terminate his training.
Nalate ako, tas tinanggal ako.
That was the trigger.
Nung tinanggal po ako, nag-quit din yung mga grupo ko. Nag-quit din sila kasi parang naging trigger na point na kung tatanggalin mo si Josh.
Yeah, it's like literally he was saying quit and trigger, so I was like, yeah, no. But hey, we're here now. We're here 11 minutes into a 19-minute video and we finally got it. We've got ourselves some subtitles. professional reactor over here. Thank you very much. Subscribe, like the video. Thank you.
Umalis kami sa grupo.
Ganun mo lang kadali itapon yung lahat ng efforts and passion tsaka dreams namin.
ShowBT had two choices: to keep all trainees or to keep no trainees. The company chose the latter. Everyone left except for Stell.
Parang si Stell lang yung naiwan po nun talaga sa training room. Tapos talagang down na down lahat.
Si Stell natira kasi doon during that time.
Stell set aside all his frustration and remained focused on his goal, while Pablo was devastated.
All hope is lost parang nung time na yun.
In Josh's case, we can only imagine the pain he must have felt to have been booted out of his dreams.
Well, and then just like the effect of how he would have felt too, because it's like he feels like he may have let down his boys, right? Like, it sucks. The idea of that just blows.
Days passed. Everyone's still feeling down about that incident. Then Pablo's phone receives a message.
Brother, walik ka na, brother.
It was Josh. Out of all the trainees, the guy that got sent packing was the same guy who actively convinced everyone to continue chasing their dreams.
Hell yeah,
Perhaps
brother.
this was the sheer guts and determination from his life experiences in full display. Pablo hurried back to the studio to find Stell alone. But not for long. Josh came back next and took the initiative to convince the company to have them back.
Pumunta lang po ako doon at syempre kung kinakailangan na makiusap.
So back to training, they went.
Hindi na lang magkahiwalay ng grupo, pero bumalik sila kasi hindi nila ako inuman.
No, it's this is that core, like, this is what makes these boys so great, is that just this, it was all destined to happen. And you know, it's the story and the history is so rich, and it's so inspirational to everybody that like watches this. And this is why it's so important what Chuck does here for the boys and doing these videos, because it just, he shows everybody this the power and the dedication that these boys have. He knows his shit, man.
There was only 3 of them for a while. Then a few other trainees started coming back. So ShowBT put together a talent workshop to get more talents to keep the business going. This was batch 1. This was batch 2.
Target locked.
Justin de Dios.
Nice, I like that.
He got scouted right away because he was a very good-looking guy and already was a decent singer and dancer. When he joined, he immediately saw a familiar face in Josh.
I love this so much.
Familiar. As do you.
Apparently, Josh told Justin about the workshop because the two already had a stint performing together in a dance cover group called Zero to Hero. So Justin as well wasn't new in the world of performing. He auditioned to be a part of the televised Pinoy boy band Super.
Justin is so interesting too, because he's just like, he's got such a creative mind. He's so powerful when he raps. Oh my god, don't even. It's scary. It scares me. It's so good, and it's just like, it's so powerful, and it's just like, he is such an inspiration in and himself. Oh man, he's the guy that I know the least about, but his personality and seeing the videos that I've watched with him, it's just, it's like a treat all the time. It's always such a surprise. It's like you know, an enigma, you know. So Justin is something else.
Star, but he didn't even make it to the live auditions. Perhaps it was fate. That group is nowhere to be found today. Justin obviously deserved better. He went on to finish his college degree in multimedia arts while training, which earned him a filmmaking skill that would prove very crucial to their success in the future. With Justin on board, this completed their prototype boy group. It's composed of Justin, Pablo, Stell, Josh, Zeno, Kurt, and JP. They did
Wouldn't it be something to see like the guys do something like this, like a reunion of this type too? That would be really interesting.
Multiple test runs leading up to their entry to Pinoy K-Pop Star 2017. They performed B-Day by Icon in an epic fashion, but they didn't win. At this point, ShowBT seemed to have hit a roadblock. The group felt like something was missing. I don't exactly know what happened to Zeno, Kurt, and JP. They either quit or ShowBT felt the need to let go of them and get someone who could take this already great group of guys and push them to achieve the next.
See, you gotta be careful when it comes to like bigger super groups too, right? It's like something about the four of them, it works so well. When you gotta really watch adding in a billion different singers and songwriters into one group, because that could cause so many different issues on a whole nother level that we wouldn't even be prepared for.
Next level, the extraordinary level. This year's in the making project of ShowBT needed to reach its peak. So they started the online auditions. When Josh heard about it, he was like, I know a guy.
Oh yes sir!
The guy he was talking about was a pain in his butt because their groups have clashed multiple times in their early dance competitions.
Josephine!
And their battles were always neck and neck.
Oh, now Ken at this point now is just like, Ken is so badass, and he brings in history mixed in with just this raw energy, rock anger that just like rips you apart, man. It's so awesome. Oh my god.
That guy's name was Philip John Suson. He was such a specimen. He was so
such a specimen.
Naturally gifted that excelling in sports looked like a walk in the park for him. He grew up in the church under the care of his grandparents. He was an artistic kid, so he was active as an editorial cartoonist in school. Nobody taught him how to play musical instruments. He taught himself by just listening to the music, so he ended up becoming a southpaw guitarist, but
yeah, he's a self-made man right here.
He later then fixed it as he learned more. He was also a gifted singer, but he later then fixed it as he learned more. He was also a gifted singer as a kid. Every time there was a family gathering, he was always forced to sing karaoke by his relatives. But when he hit puberty, he lost confidence in his voice because he could no longer hit high notes.
Hey, that's
but his
okay.
confidence came back after being mentored by Pablo, who taught him how to harness his unique low voice that seemingly sounds like it came from the underworld.
Yes, sir. Oh, first take. Oh my god, I love the first take so much. These performances really make the whole situation shine brighter, right? Like, you get the raw vocals of all the boys and in their purest of talent. And I'm telling you, with just like the most epic microphones and epic sound, if you've never watched a first take, definitely check these out because they are something else, man.
The world.
Hey. No rush, I can do this all day. No rush.
When it comes to dance, he didn't know he could do it until he was forced to in order to get good grades during their school intramurals. After discovering dance, he transformed from a guy who didn't know it to someone who can fly. Because of his raw talent, he ended up teaching dance to the entire school and continued on to join the dance group called Amigo 7.
Man, I'm telling you, man, he's got that raw talent. It's embedded in his DNA.
A would-be rival of Josh and Stell's crew, Seyon. It quickly became a reverse if you can't beat them, then join them kind of deal. So Josh recruited Ken. But there was a problem. He was hundreds of islands away and didn't have the money.
I love that edit.
What did Josh do? He shelled out for his plane ticket. With nothing else to lose, Philip went and left his previous life.
And see, doesn't that speak volumes to like how much he believed in Ken on this one? Is he took, like, at this point right now, like, the boys aren't making a hell of a lot of money. and he's shelling out the money. He's the one that has a hard time, like at the point of, like, you look at it, it's just like the guy grew up in just like almost pure poverty, and like having to like having nothing, and then being like, okay, I'm gonna shell money out to you to get you out here because you need to be a part of this, speaks volumes.
In the countryside, he then trained with the boys and officially debuted with them as Ken, the main dancer, the bass vocalist, and the lead rapper of the group. One thing to note is that they were an unlikely bunch because they wouldn't have met each other if Tatang Robin stayed with his already successful group in Korea. Justin didn't make it in his first audition, so he almost didn't try again until Josh told him to do so. And Ken wouldn't even have the opportunity to join if the ShowBT trainees didn't come back after that quitting incident. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the butterfly effect. When a small and seemingly insignificant occurrence has a rippling effect through time, leading to a consequence.
When Chuck actually brought this up the last time, the butterfly effect, I was just like, oh shit, like this is, yeah, totally true. Like a sequence of events created this group, man. And it's just like, if none of it ever happened, as minuscule as it may be, the certain little points that happened along the way, if none of that would have happened, we would have not been here today.
Sequential event sometime long after the initial event, or as Google would put it, the phenomenon whereby a minute localized change in a complex system can have large effects elsewhere. Tatang Robin's so-called mistake back in 2002 led to forming the future P-pop Kings. In 2018, SB19 was formed. The name of the group was carefully picked. The number 19 is the sum of Korea and the Philippines country code digits, 82 and 63. So 8 plus 2 plus 6 plus 3 is 19. If you subtract both numbers, you also get the same result. SB doesn't only mean ShowBT. It is also about their ultimate goal for Pinoy sound to break into the music industry, which is fearlessly represented by this phrase: Soundbreak.
Yes, sir. Love it. Okay. Oh my God. Okay, Chuck did it again. He absolutely blew it out of the water, and he created another amazing SB19 edit here, showing us the story, showing us the coming up of the boys. Chuck worked so hard. Give him a round of applause, everybody. I really love this guy. He is so much fun, and I'm telling you, I still end up learning more as I continue on watching these. Like it makes no difference when it comes to these types of videos for any type of artist. It's so good to dive into these. I think it is very important to understanding music as a whole and really getting in and learning the stories, because there's countless amount of artists out there that have countless amount of stories. And with the music, when you listen to the music and you learn about the stories, you get a deeper appreciation for that music, for the work that those boys put into, those boys and girls, and everybody that is involved in the whole process. The whole world is so wide, it's so vast, and we learn so much all the time that it's just, it's really inspiring for myself, and it really drives my ambitions and my goals for the future. And here we go, getting into 2025 now, being 1 year in with SB19. I cannot wait to see where the next year takes us with the boys and the process, and just growing and learning and watching just pure talent. These boys, I gotta see them live. That's just it. I got to see the boys live. I would love to meet them someday. Their stories are amazing. Their personalities are awesome. They are an amazing group. That's all I could say. That's it. That's all I'm saying now. I'm done. Thank you so much for watching this video, my reaction to Chuck here, creating the ultimate sound break. This was amazing. And if you did enjoy today's video and you would like to see more in the future, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe if you're new here, and ring that bell notification, because we've got so much more in the future with SB19. We've got lots more to check out from the boys, and we're here. We're in it. My name is MasterGo, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.